Hi artists, I'm super excited to do this project with you guys. I did it with second grade and they turned out so nice and it was so much fun to do that I decided I'm gonna do it again with you guys. If you haven't done it, perfect. It's super easy, super fun. You can do drawing and painting. Now the materials that you need for this are oil pastels. If you don't have oil pastels, crayons work fine too. You just can't smudge them. Oil pastel, you can kind of smudge them, which gives it a little bit of a different look. Then you need watercolors. If you don't have watercolors, there are some water-soluble markers that you can liquefy with a brush and water. So you can do that for coloring. If you don't have watercolors, and you don't have any oil pastels, you can do the whole thing in just crayon or colored pencil, draw your line designs. And then obviously you need a cup of water, a brush, and a paper towel. That's it, and paper. Definitely if you if you do a watercolor project, you need a little bit of a thicker piece of paper. So this project, I call it continuous line abstract art piece. We're going to draw in a minute a continuous line. We're going to cover the entire paper, and then we're going to kind of look around what we can see in our shapes that we've created. And if you see something, like here I saw this guy, I kind of highlighted the nose, the eye, I put an eyebrow there. So I added things to highlight this character. If you see nothing, it's fine. And then we're going to color it. Couple other examples. This is another guy I saw, so I drew my lines, did this as an example, turned it all around, and then ended up looking like this. I added the teeth, the eye, the hair, came everything after. This is a piece that a student did and didn't like it, second grader, and I just loved it and asked if I could keep it, and I was told yes. So I actually started started coloring or painting it. And what's lovely about this one is all these lines. There are way more lines that I used in my examples, but it looks fabulous. So let's get going. Paper size, as I said, I think you can use any type of paper. I'm gonna use a larger one. I like to draw this a little bit bigger. So very first thing you do is you just put a dot on your paper anywhere. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put my dot right here. Now, you're going to draw a continuous line. And what I mean by that is you should not start drawing, stopping, taking your oil pastel off the page and then starting back up. Your oil pastel never leaves the paper. Another thing you need to consider is that you need to really use the size of your paper. So cover the whole space that you have. You can draw straight lines, you can go into angles, you can curve, you can draw dots, circles, you can go back over lines that you've had. There's really truly no end how you do this. So, and super important, when you do this, I do not want you to think about any thing or object. Like, don't think, I'm gonna draw a horse, and then your brain is thinking really hard to do a horse. No, this is really truly just going with the flow and drawing lines. So I'm gonna do one quickly. All right, so as you noticed, I started at this dot and I ended at this dot. And I just made a few curved lines. I made straight lines, another curved line. Here's an angle line, angle line. So now I have all these lines, and what I can do now is kind of look if I might see or recognize something. This I don't. This I really don't. Nope. Don't see anything. Don't really recognize anything, which remember is completely fine. So what I'm going to do next is kind of make some lines a little thicker, some lines a little wider. I'm going to add some patterns, some designs. I'm going to make this look a little bit more interesting. So let me start. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've laid down my designs. I'm going to now take my finger and smudge my line. Do you see this? This is awesome because it, now I can kind of color in. I can create a little bit of a value change with my grayscale. This needs... Okay, I think nope, this I don't like. All right. So I could fuss with this for a long time because there's always something that needs changing. This I need to... Okay, so next what I'm going to do is now I'm going to paint, and I'm going to show you quickly how I'm going to do this. Okay, painting, you can be as loose as you want. I could just take a color and go all over it, or you focus on the individual shapes. I'm going to focus on the individual shapes, then I'm going to color. I'm going to lay down some orange here. Okay, this is kind of the finished example. It's just a really fun, very, very loose art piece to create.